I'm back again to update you on my life in China. I know I'm a little bit late, but happy holidays. It's been a pretty busy month, so I'll just jump right into it. For Christmas, I took a trip to Chengdu. It's in the Sichuan province of China, which is known for having the most spiciest food in the country. As someone who loves trying new food, especially spicy food, I knew I had to try everything that looked delicious. Chengdu is such an awesome city. It lights up really beautifully at night. The city doesn't have really big buildings like Shanghai or Beijing, but all over the city there are these beautiful mountains and awesome parks and green spaces. You definitely get like that small city vibe from it, but it has everything that a big city would have.
Figuring out the bus system here has been pretty easy.
Chengdu is a city just brimming with culture. I visited a place called the Wenshu Monastery. It's a Buddhist monastery. It has really beautiful Tang Dynasty type architecture and it's like over 1,000 years old. The place was mostly filled with elderly Chinese people praying and worshiping the deities. You could smell incense everywhere and people went around worshiping different statues. To the left of all the buildings, they had a really beautiful park where old people just kind of hung out and practiced Tai Chi. They also had Buddhist monks chanting and singing songs all over the monastery. The monastery was absolutely stunning. I mean, it's like something that you would see out of like a Chinese movie. I also visited the Wuhao temple, and this was a Taoist monastery. Of course, I found people practicing Tai Chi, but I also found children practicing Kung Fu. The kids were really adorable, and they had like a super awesome teacher who could do leg raises like they were nothing. One of the kids were super curious and friendly.
The menu? Beautiful. Beautiful.
Wuhao Temple also retained like the old Tang Dynasty style architecture. It was definitely smaller than the Wenshu Monastery, but it was still really cool to see this more spiritual side of China. I also visited the People's Park of Chengdu. It's a pretty big park with lots of beautiful green spaces and gardens. Within the park was a place called the Himing Tea House. It's a super famous and historical tea house that a lot of old celebrities way back in the day used to go to visit and chill out. It sits right near a small pond and they definitely had the best tea I've had so far in China. My favorite place in Chengdu was Dufu Cottage. Dufu was an old Chinese poet who pretty much left civilization and went to go live by himself. It's definitely the nicest park I've been to in China. To me, it looks more like an ancient Chinese paradise than a tourist attraction. Dufu Park had a small pond, a really beautiful bonsai garden, green landscapes, a small but lush bamboo forest, and awesome pagodas. The park definitely took me by surprise. Like, I had no idea it was going to be that incredibly nice. It was definitely a great place for me to practice my photography. Chengdu is most famous for their Panda research base. Because I studied environmentalism in school, I was like really happy to see pandas in person. They're just such awesome creatures and it really sucks that they're endangered. They're incredibly funny, cute, and act just like people. I couldn't help but laugh at how they tease each other. The babies love to wrestle, and the older ones like to tease each other and play fight in the trees.
He's like, wait, stop, let go. Time out.
The way that they just kind of sit back, chillax, and just munch on bamboo, it just puts a smile on your face. We also checked out the red pandas, and we also saw some scenic areas around the park. I spent New Year's weekend in Changsha with some friends. On New Year's Eve, I went to a random Chinese club and got a little turned up. It was really hard getting a cab back that night because the city was just so crowded with people. I just kind of stopped a random Chinese guy and asked him if he could give my friend and me a ride.
It's not even a taxi. It's some random Chinese dude.
He was super happy to drop us home. In hindsight, maybe it was a little dangerous, but it was also really funny just to see the three of us crammed on this tiny little scooter. On New Year's Day, I hung out by the river in Changsha and just kind of watched all the fireworks. We hung out with some Chinese people and lit paper lanterns over the water. As for my life in Lishan, people are definitely getting used to seeing a foreigner around now. When I go places, people kind of like remember what it is I like to order, remember the things that I like, which is really nice. Though the town is so small, there's still so many random occurrences that keep me amused. My parents sent me a package from home with some Caribbean scorpion pepper. It's the second hottest pepper in the world. I showed it to some of the Chinese people here in my town and also in Changsha. In this province, the food is already really spicy, so the Chinese people really take pride in their ability to eat spicy food. I tried to warn them, I really did.
It's okay. Are you sure? What do you think? Is it good? It's good. He says it's good. Trinidad meets China. Oh,
I think it was just like a really good cultural exchange. They opened up a brand new nightclub right next to the school. To me, it's really funny because I would never imagine a nightclub to exist in a town with like 30,000 people. It was a really fun place filled with professional DJs, dancers, and young Chinese people looking to have a good time. It's definitely a stark contrast to like the modest surroundings where elderly people literally ride their wheelchairs in the middle of the road. A few weeks ago, I hung out with some grade 2 English teachers. They took me to a really high-end and nice Chinese restaurant. It looked really, really nice at night with all the lights. The waitress led us to a private room where I met all of the teachers. We had a fantastic dinner and afterwards we went to a KTV. All the grade 2 teachers are so much fun and they can sing and dance like total bosses. So how has teaching been going? I'm starting to form relationships with individual students, which is great.
Josh Wondro, what are you doing? What are you doing? You're listening to the song.
In the beginning of this month, I decided to like step up my lessons and give the kids more challenging topics to talk about. I gave a lecture on animal rights and gun control and had my students tell me their thoughts about the issue.
I think only some people should have guns.
Why?
Because if everyone have guns, the guns will make their owners dangerous, and the world will be dangerous too.
Very good.
I was super blown away at how much thought and effort my students had put into the lesson. For a while I was thinking, how do I explain something so complicated to high school students? And then I realized the trick was to make the lesson really simple, just use a lot of really simple English words. Because I focused on such heavy topics in the beginning of the month, I definitely wanted to have like a happier lesson. I gave a lesson about Christmas and showed the kids scenes from the Radio City Christmas Spectacular, and we also watched Elf, which they all thought was super hilarious. I absolutely love teaching here at Ijong. You know, I couldn't ask for better students. So that's it for my story for this month. I'll be sure to post another video next month, and as usual, love you guys. Peace.